Hello, beautiful, vibrant souls. I'm so glad that we could join together again today. We'll pull some cards for the collective. I don't use hashtags, so these messages will come across your timeline at the perfect time when these messages will resonate. But if you're looking for perfect guidance in a specific situation, feel free to reach out to me. Uh-oh. Cupid's arrow. Ace of Cups comes right off. Immediately I get hit. I already saw these other two cards, so I already know where this is going. I can feel exactly where this energy is. It is time for some new connections. You have decided that you are good to go. You all that mess that you were dealing with in the past, all this bad luck that you were experiencing when it comes to relationships, all of these challenges and difficulties, you just don't have time for it anymore. And it's not, there's no bitterness, there's no resentment. It is what it is. We're okay with it. The sun is shining. It's a brand new day. Every day is a chance for you to be your best. So you wake up every single morning and you're like, today's the day that I'm going to be my best. And you do it over and over again. It doesn't necessarily mean that the day goes perfectly the whole day. It means that every day you wake up with this mindset of, I'm going to be grateful for what potential this day has. So with our Ace of Cups, I'm getting, you have opened your heart up. You've decided that you're going to try. You're going to try to welcome some new energy into your life. Regardless of the experiences you've had, you're going to try to let all this go. You're going to try to be this new version of self that you've evolved into. Not that you're a different person, you're just an evolved version of that person. And there's been so much that you've learned, and you know that you've got some areas that you had to work on, and you still will. But now you know that there's something out there for you, and you're accepting and welcoming it in. We have the Lover's card. So I'm getting some multiple choices. There's a lot of people are out here feeling the love, wanting to find a connection. We're wanting to celebrate life again. In spite of all the difficulties and darkness that is in the world, we know that it just feels better when there's someone by your side that has your back. When you got that emergency contact locked in. There's definitely a connection deepening as well. For some of you, if you're already in a connection and that connection is feeling really good, what you're feeling with this card is not it's not a shallow connection. You're feeling like it's going somewhere. There's some potential here. There's something deep. You're starting to really truly understand your partner in a way that maybe you haven't understood a partner in the past. So there's a deepening of that connection. Appreciating the little things is what I'm getting. You're really starting to appreciate the little things, the little moments. You may not have been really good at recognizing how they demonstrate their love in the past, and now you're starting to see it for what it is. And it makes them special. It makes them really special to you because and you're realizing they pay a lot more attention than you thought that they did. So the fact that you're just more aware of it has made you more conscious of these things, and it's helped you deepen your care for this person, which makes you pay more attention, which makes you want to show them the same kind of things. And it's this beautiful cycle of sharing and deepening of these connections and appreciating each other, being grateful for each other. Now, for those of you who are not in a connection at this time, what you're finding is that you're not willing to settle for anything that's not going to honor your best self, that's not going to value you. You're looking for that reciprocal effort. You're looking for something that really manifests itself as a true equal partnership. You're not doing this one-sidedness anymore. You want something that they're willing to share with you and give to you. And we're not just talking about material things. We're talking about their time, their energy, their emotional space. We're done with these emotionally closed off partners. It's not gonna satisfy us, and it leads to all kinds of terrible behaviors and self-sabotage, and then it doesn't go anywhere. So we don't want to do that anymore. We're tired of that. A lot of really good energy here. We have our Hierophant here as well. So there's some spiritual guides influencing the situation, especially those for who are not in that connection yet. If you are in that connection, you've been seeing the synchronicities, you've been seeing the signs, you've been feeling the guides, you've been the little nudges in the right direction. For those of us that needed a little bit more help finding that connection, what you're finding is that you're getting these nudges to go into new spaces, new energy, maybe looking for a different kind of a partner than you have in the past. You're not stuck in the same image of what kind of a partner is right for you. It's got to feel right, and you know now that you've been pushing away potentially good connections because you weren't ready to open your heart to those connections, and now you're feeling that you are. And so you're getting these nudges and you're like, okay, I'm going to trust my vibes. Now, this may mean, I'm getting for some of you that this means that for some, you might see somebody that you find physically really attractive, but immediately something feels off with them, and you're just not even wasting your time with that. Whereas in the past, you'd be like, well, they're very attractive, so let me see if I can make this work, right? Maybe we are vibing. I'm just, but now you're like, superficial. Yeah, there's a lot of hot people out there. There's a lot of hot people out there. There's a lot of attractive people out there in the world. That doesn't mean they're right for you. And it doesn't mean they're all bad if they're not right for you. It just means they're not right for you. And you know this now. And you're willing to just kind of trust the process and go, the right person is going to vibe with me. And not only are they going to vibe with me, but I am going to find them attractive. Because there's so many different things that make somebody attractive, and so you know and trust that the universe knows that you have to be attracted to the right person too, right? You're not just going to fall into the hands of somebody that it just doesn't do it for you. That it's got to be all of it, but it's giving you an opportunity to see people in a different light, and that new perspective has really opened your mind and opened your heart. So spirit guides, you're taking some advice, you're taking some guidance from people that are better at this, maybe have more experience, you're trusting the process, and you're being really open to feeling successful about it. So this collective message, it's going to address some of those folks that have already passed this cycle, but I feel like this is addressing those who are at this point where they are okay with whatever happens, regardless of what things are. Maybe they've just walked out of a situation that left them feeling exhausted, left them feeling depleted. They were not filling your cup, and you ended up feeling as though it was very one-sided. You're not into this anymore. This is just not going to work for you anymore. But it's time for you, and you've decided that what you need is time to heal. You need a break. You need time to focus on you. This is just for your own peace of mind. And this is the inner peace card. We're getting that you recognize that situation opened your eyes to areas that you were consistently falling back into. You were picking partners and friendships that were one-sided, so that you were going into these situations feeling like you needed to do more, whether you're an oldest child, or you are a people pleasing phase, or whether this is just a trauma response. Whatever the situation is, you all of a sudden it became very clear to you, I keep doing this to myself. I keep putting myself in this situation where I'm feeling like I'm not doing enough, and this person's over here either wanting more because they love getting as much as possible with giving as little, or they think you're doing too much. Not that they're wrong, but they're also not equipped to handle it. They're not equipped to do the things that reassure you that you don't need to do all this. And so you've either been in one party or the other, and either way, it has led to you becoming depleted. Because either this person was willing to take all you had to give, or this person was just like, you don't need to do all this, but not in a capacity to reassure you and let you know and make you feel safe and secure so that you didn't need to continue on that pattern. You've realized that you need a different type of partner. You're going after the wrong types of partners. You're going after partners that are not reciprocating in the ways that is good for you. As I said in the last reading, there's all kinds of attractive people out there, and you might find a number of people, and then as soon as you start to get to know them, you start to feel exhausted, or you start to feel like we're not connecting, and I got to do more, or you're feeling as though feel like I'm like I'm on a talent show and I've got to perform to win. These relationships are not real. There are people that are emotionally avoidant or emotionally closed off entirely. There is a tendency for some folks to, they want people to compete for their attention. They like having a number of people competing for their attention. Who's going to do the most for me? Because in their mind, that's fulfilling to them. They're not in a position where they have to give emotionally back. So they're okay with it. It doesn't deplete them at all. They're just constantly getting the cup filled from all these different directions, but everyone else involved feels completely just devastated, and sometimes some of them are going to try harder, some of them are going to become embittered and say never mind and walk away, some of them are going to get really angry and frustrated, some of them are going to go completely off. And then of course these emotionally avoidant people and emotionally closed off people go, well, see, that's why I don't want anybody close to me. They've got their own stuff to deal with. You've decided you're not playing this game anymore. This game is not for me to play. I am seeking to be the best version of self so that I can walk into a relationship whole and find another match that's whole, or at the very least is working on themselves with the same amount of effort that I am, so that we're not dependent upon each other to do this work. We can support each other in this work. We can balance each other in this work. We can help each other be our best self. But until I find that, I'm focused on me. And that's what makes me feel the best right now. That's what makes me feel good. So that's what I'm going to do, because that's where the quiet is so nice. When you're not overthinking, you just recognize that, like, sometimes being by yourself and just doing what makes you happy is all you need. And you're in that space right now where healing for you is what's most important. So you're going to take some time, and it's going to be so worthwhile. And the next time you do find yourself ready to get into a partnership with another person, you're going to be making a completely different type of choice, and it's going to be completely worth the time that you spent working on yourself. So you're on the right track. Okay, so we've got some divine masculine energy, which is completely opposite of our divine feminine energy. This is for those people who have found that balance. You found balance. You understand what balance is. And we've also got our Orca Elders sharing your song, a frequency of sound, and diving deep. We are whole. When we are our best selves, we are whole and complete, and there's nothing else that we need. That does not mean that we are truly and totally 100% on one side or the other. You're not 100% divine feminine. You're not 100% divine masculine. You're meeting in the middle. And it's where these two energies meet that you find you are the best equipped to be happy, to feel fulfilled, to accomplish your dreams, to meet your twin flame. It's when you reach that state of balance. That's what we're looking for. So just as I talk about how we're supposed to feel all the feelings from elated joy, bliss to grief and pain, we're supposed to have that full spectrum of feelings. And the goal is to find balance where we can just kind of moderate in between there. And we find peace and joy in the middle when we're not fluctuating too much. We're finding that the balance between feminine and masculine energies is where we feel the most fulfilled and complete and whole ourselves as well. Listen, I'm getting music, a lot of music. Music is helping you realize the messages from spirit. You're getting a lot of signs and synchronicities through music. You're finding that when you spend time listening to music, that it gives you something that you weren't quite finding before. That there is a sense of understanding that's coming from, like, you're hearing the perfect songs and you're getting those messages. There's times when it's time for you to do what's right for you. And that means taking control of situations and taking action and putting things into place and sticking to them and being 100% on point and doing the thing. And then there are times when you are receptive and you are welcoming and you are trusting and you are healing and you are nurturing. When we find that perfect balance, we're starting to recognize that that's where things feel really good. So you were a little bit too much in that divine feminine, perhaps. You were a little bit too much just accepting of what occurred. And what you were finding was that what was being drawn to you wasn't necessarily the healthiest situations. It was a little bit very one-sided, because when we are in that, like, really heightened divine feminine, and it's like that extreme end of it, you tend to attract those who are in the extreme opposite. So you're getting those, like, hyper dependent masculines that, like, they need that extreme hyper feminine, and there's just so much difference between the two of you. It doesn't work out. It becomes overwhelming for the divine feminine. It become very depleted. So when you're seeking your balance, when you're in the middle and you've got that beautiful balance between the feminine and masculine energies of you, you attract others who have found their balance. So if you are a female identifying, or you are looking for the equal and opposite partner, what you're finding is they are also very much not only in tune with their feelings and their emotions and know when to be receptive and receiving of love, but then they know how to issue that as well. They also know how to take care of you and to do the things that you need and to know when it's time for them to step up. And you should be able to, with your partner, have this beautiful equilibrium of balance. That's why we see it in some situations where we call it the power couple, where we'll see one partner is equally as accomplished, but also as receptive. And then on the other side, you're not going to, the extreme end of the divine masculine is just receiving and not necessarily good at accepting or honoring and nurturing. They're all action and all movement, and it's very, very hyper energetic, and the female gets depleted because the masculine can never come back in the middle and meet her in that way that she needs to be met. She's doing all the one and he's doing all the other. When we find our state of balance, that divine masculine can just as much share and show you love as he can provide and do the things that need to be done. And then she can step up and do the things that need to be done and receive the love from him, as well as give the love that he needs. We need to be able to get back and forth into both of our energies. So it is a little bit complicated to explain, but I think a lot of people get it off. They get it wrong, where they go, well, I'm divine feminine, and then my partner is going to be the divine masculine. And I don't think that's the way it's supposed to be. From my experience, from my understanding, I am a chaos witch. So my understanding of energy and the energy workings is that what we're looking for is equilibrium, not the extremes. You should know what those extremes are, and you understand those extremes because you've gone into them and fully explored and fully just deep dive into that energy, so you know what it's about. And on the same note, you've fully explored the divine masculine. So I feel like some of us are experiencing and welcoming more of an equilibrium, and realizing that that is actually what we need. We don't want these hyper masculine energies, because that hyper masculine energy is only capable of do. It's not receiving your love in the way that it needs to be received, and they can't nurture in the way that you need to be nurtured as well. But when we find somebody that's here in the middle with us, we can go back and forth and share and exchange that energy in that beautiful cycle. That's where healthy love lives. Thank you so much for sharing this message with me and joining me on your healing journey. I am always so appreciative of your shares and your comments and your likes, and it's always a pleasure to have you here and to hear from you. See you next time.